27 this month. I didn't pick my life up until I was about 24, 25, you know, and it sucks. I mean, I've been homeless twice. Developing that disorder is probably the most darkest thing that happened to me. Do meth because I was smoking weed, or because I wanted to try a new drug or anything, Did meth because I wanted to die.
Alright guys, I'm A-Way, and this is A-Way the Shed. Today we got AsKingIRise.
What's good, what's good?
Yes sir, thanks for stopping by, man.
No problem, thanks for having me, my boy.
Take us back to your childhood, man. What were you? Two parents, earliest memory, all that, man.
Shit. I was adopted at a real young age, put in foster care about 4 years old. Me and my brother. There's a lot of us. I think about 13 siblings, something like that. But was adopted out at about 5. Started out in Cali, claimed San Diego, Bakersfield area. After that, we just did a lot of moving. My mom's job had her everywhere. She's a food safety scientist. My dad has always worked for the cities that we've lived in, worked for highways and stuff like that. But he does wastewater now. He has his wastewater treatment license and everything like that. So childhood was something. I can say that it was something. During foster care, it was real rough. We dealt with a lot of abuse and stuff like that with different parents and just things like that. After foster care, after we got adopted, I wouldn't say we had like the most terrific life. They did what they were supposed to do for us. May not have been the loving ways that they handled things, and not getting too deep into it, but discipline wise and stuff like that. So I can say all around I've had the best of both worlds with the childhood, the good and the bad. The bad being real bad and the good being real good. My parents paid for me to be coached by professional athletes, baseball, football, track. My mom found skincare doctors for me. I've had 3 pimples in my life, and I'm real picky about my skin. I just caught my 3rd one a couple months ago. I was about to cry, but you know what I'm saying. But so I got the loving part, but what I'm saying, there's always iffy in there. Not to say they weren't good parents or anything like that. I'm blessed to have them. I was very blessed to have them. But I moved out here after a while, gone through life. After high school, I went to college. College didn't go so well, so I took some time off. Went through an addiction. I'm coming up on 10 years cleaning off of meth.
Yeah.
One of my biggest achievements that I hold myself to.
Man, so congratulations.
Appreciate it. Very dark time. Very, very dark time. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's a hell of a drug. It's a hell of a time. It's a hell of a fight. But I thank God that I'm out of it. So ever since then, I just been pushing to do better. Have a better life, make better choices. So it's something that I have to do if I want to be successful. You can't live your life making the decisions that you made as a child or adolescent or a teenager, whatever you want to call it, or even a young adult. I didn't pick my life up until I'll be 27 this month. I didn't pick my life up until I was about 24, 25. And it sucks. I mean, I've been homeless twice. I've slept in Walmarts. I've slept in mattress stores. I've slept in abandoned houses. I've done all of it. So I really hold myself to the success that I've created in the past few years, honestly. I've started a whole lot of businesses, not just music-wise. I started my own lawn care business and home cleaning. I started that in 2019. So I'm a big entrepreneur. I love to make money. That's something that I'll always do. I don't care if I got to go get 3-4 jobs. I'm gonna make money. I know I gotta make money to live my life. So why would I stop? It's the kind of thing. So, but before the music, I was an athlete. What I'm saying? College football, college track, Olympic track. I got medals sitting at my parents' house right now, type shit. What I'm saying? They hold my medals in my shoes. My high school still writing articles about me. I done checked my high school about a month ago. They got me in their Hall of Fame. Ain't nobody breaking my record. What I'm saying? Stop playing with me. Shout out to everyone. But yeah, I started with football and track and shit like that. I still play semi-pro football right now. I just got done playing in Missouri. Looking for a team out here right now that I can try out for next year. But I went to visit my brother one day, and he just kind of threw me in a booth. He was, you know what I'm saying? I just went to say hi, and I was coming through cities. Went to say hi, and he was like, I'm going to the studio, I want to come. I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I went to the studio, he was like, all right, your turn. Right? I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Man, I got it, that bitch made a banger, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't stopped since. It's been a hell of a career choice that I did choose to go through. I am in school right now for my bachelor's degree in science for business administrative. After that, I will go back to school to finish my criminal justice degree to either become a sheriff, or I will go further and do something with a lawyer or something like that. I want to have something that music and everything that might not happen. You know, I might not be the next Stevie Wonder or an LA Choppa, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So I need something to fall back on, and that's basically why I started my entertainment business. I just got my entity created about 3 months ago, something like that. So I want to be able to have something to fall back on, you know, with sports. I love sports, but everyone doesn't make it, you know. So the possibility of not going far enough to get paid, now I got my entertainment service. If my entertainment service doesn't work out, well, I got modeling, I got acting, I got all of this other stuff. So I can work down the line before I get to those bigger careers that I'm actually staying put in something and, you know, actually focusing on that and not a whole life of traveling and this and that. But my mom's always taught me that it's never good to not have a backup plan, and I've never not had a backup plan. You know, even being homeless. You know, I see it, and don't get me wrong. I'm not talking ill about nobody, but I see a lot of people on the side of the street, you know, panhandling and asking for money. I worked at McDonald's. I went and slept in a house that ain't have no electricity or nothing. I went and slept in a Walmart. I slept in the McDonald's after work, or I just stayed and worked 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's ways to get money. It's ways to do it. So I don't really stick my hand out to the ones that are just outside on the street, because one, I don't know if you really are homeless or if you really do need the help. I've seen a whole lot of videos of dudes being exposed, copping money here and then going into a Bentley or something. Let me not get got like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling as it is. You know what I'm saying? I just cashed out to get my dog in the ER the other day. You know what I'm saying? And on top of the other things that I had to get done with. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just trust everybody doing, you know, saying what they're saying. But at the end of the day, I went and made money. You know what I'm saying? I got myself from here to go up to there. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, I was homeless. You know, me and my brother, before we moved down here, we were homeless. I was sitting in the car wondering where we were going to go.
Let's backtrack a little bit. I got multiple questions.
Yeah.
I'll go early on. I'm not going to pry too deep because we can read between the lines when you say abuse. We don't need to go any further. But I do want to know, when you're in the foster care system, how many people were you in the care of? Like, how many homes, or how many times did you have to switch with your brother?
We went through, I think, 3 or 4 foster care homes before we were even adopted. And then after that, we went through a few families before we were actually officially adopted. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of families didn't want us because we have me and my brother had a lot of mental problems, you know, mental disorders, or, you know,
due to the abuse that you guys had.
Yeah, things like that. You know, at an early age, I was diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar depression, manic depression, all of it. You know, growing up. Through the years, I end up developing multi-personality disorder. It strayed at an early age. It backed families away from us. We found out that families didn't want us because my brother had ADHD or ADD or anything like that. And hearing it now, you know, it sucks for a family to do that and stray away from a child who actually does need the help, because we could have got out of a lot of shit that we were already involved in, man.
And I know you said that it later developed into multiple personalities. Was that something you were trying to cope with, to just deal with the reality of everything that was going on?
Yeah, of my life, the whole thing, man. Trying to make this part happy, trying to make this part, you know, it's a whole lot of, I want to forget I want to forget this, I want to forget that. And developing that disorder is probably the most darkest thing that happened to me. It's a hard thing to control. It's a hard thing to even notice. You don't realize it until, you know, really someone tells you that you have it, you know. There's things that I can do, certain things that I know I can't do. Drinking is one thing that I have to watch. It makes me not be able to control anything. The one thing that I can say that it is good about it, my music, performing, it helps it a lot. I have one personality that he's the center of attention. He should be the center of attention. But he's not gonna lie to you, he's a horrible person. You know, he's a really fucked up person. So I don't have him out. I don't bring him out. He just slips out once I grab the mic. There's nothing I can do about it. And then once I'm done, he just slips right back in. But that took years to handle. Me drinking and getting it under control when I'm drinking, it took 2 years to be able to do that. I used to go through 3 personalities while I was drinking. And then I'd start my sobriety over while I was switching personalities. So if we're sitting here drinking, we done went through 2 bottles of Douce, I switched to TJ. TJ ain't drink yet. We might go through another 2 bottles of Douce. Then I might switch again. We might go through another 4 bottles. Then I might switch again. It's just, and at the end of the day, it makes me sick. I'm horrible the next day. Mental goes crazy, and it's a lot of fighting where things should be and how to line things back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's a roller coaster for real.
Now, how was the transition when you did find your home? How long did it take for you to accept their trust? Because obviously, being through so much trauma as an early age, you develop PTSD. It's kind of hard. How long did it take for you to welcome in?
Fully, it probably took like 3 years, something like that. It's a whole lot of learning that these people are allowed to discipline you, you know, legally, and they're allowed to do it this way or they're allowed to do it that way. But as a child, and when it's done the wrong ways before, you don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, for example, one way I was disciplined, I would be put inside a fence with a caged pit bull, a very, very aggressive caged pit bull, and they would let it chase me, and then they would pick me up and put me on this side, and they would just play, basically keep the treat away from the pit bull. That was my punishment. So it's a whole lot of.
That's a little different.
Yeah, a lot different. It's a whole lot of acceptance, and acceptance can be hard when you don't understand what it is. Trying to accept something as a child that young, it's not something that you actually do, you know? So growing up, it definitely helps, but it wasn't just me getting older and being like, okay, I'm adopted, da-da-da. My parents talked to us. And I mean, we had conversations on conversations, not knowing if all these conversations were true now, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know where the little line draw, but we had multiple conversations about, you know, what happened, who did this, why we were gone, why we were here, why this happened. So it's not that we had to accept where we were or anything. It was just the point of accepting that these people actually wanted us at a certain point, or, you know, want us. So, and then, excuse me, I think like 2 years later, a year later, excuse me, they adopted my youngest brother. I think he was like 6 months old, maybe even younger than that. His mom dropped him off at a fire station. Yeah, so after seeing them adopt him, I think it helped me personally a lot to show that these aren't just the ones that were doing it for a check.
Yep.
You know, these aren't the ones that are beating me because I might have pissed the bed one day or something at 4 years old, you know, or something like that. Or I'm smacking my food and I get smacked across the face because I don't know what that is. You know, our foster mom used to say, if you smack, you get smacked. Or, you know, if you smack, I smack. No warning, no nothing. You know, that's the first time you get heard. Once you do it, she just goes across your face, you know. Cookie was her name. I don't know how to think about it. That bitch Cookie. I can't stand Cookie. I can't stand Cookie, man.
Now, once you adjusted Was it the moving that was difficult? Because I know you fell into addiction early on at a very young age. Was it because you guys were moving a lot that it? What would you say? Not trying to get too crazy or anything.
No, you're good. The addiction came from a lot of not feeling loved, not feeling wanted, not feeling understood. I moved back to California. My mom put me in a program just for my mental starting out. And my parents don't believe we just, all drugs are bad.
They don't believe me.
So I went for my mental and, stopped with the weed,
So you were smoking beforehand?
Yeah. So, and this was after college, after I went through some things in college. So when I got back out there, I stayed in the program for a while. In that program, I went through horrible therapists, therapists who said that they can't help me, they don't understand me, I'm a lost cause, everything like that. So it would be times where I was real suicidal at the time too. So it was either, drugs or death at that point, and I really didn't care. So going through ending the first program that I was in, I just started to go downhill. Started getting drunk a whole lot in the program. They moved me back, steps, everything like that. And then when I got to a point where I got my freedom again, I went through something with my parents in a little group therapy session or whatever. And one of the white boys just came out of his apartment with a little bag or something and a little pipe. And I said, "What's that?" And since then, it was, all right, well, this is it. At the time I had a job, so I was making enough money to support myself and my habit, so I caught the addiction inside of rehab, and then I hopped out of rehab and then struggled with all of that. And honestly, one day I woke up, I didn't even wake up, I snapped out of it. I had been up for maybe like 9 days. My boss had sent me back home because I was tweaking out of work. And I called my mom and I was like, I want to come home. I think I was like 18, 19. I just turned 19, something like that. I can't remember. But I called my mom and I was like, I want to go home. I can't do this. So I caught a flight 3 days later, went home and tried to work on my relationship with my parents. And every time I do that, it's just, why did I do that? But I don't know, growing up, being an adult and being the way I am, I think is the reason me and my parents bump heads. We have a lot of different viewpoints.
I was going to say, is it just the way you believe some things?
Yeah. They don't believe, one, that, I can live my life with certain extracurricular activities.
Like cannabis?
Yeah, for one. Yeah, cannabis is one. They have a lot of views on what it does to your brain and da-da-da-da. And really, they just listen to the news and false articles.
Old school.
Yeah. But, the thing about it is, the biggest thing about it is, my dad, he doesn't really, you don't get on my back no more about it. He understands I'm a grown man, I'm gonna do what I want, regardless, da-da-da-da. But my mom, she is, I don't like it, but she knows I'm a grown man too, but she's not gonna say anything. But it took a while to even, accept that my parents were like that, because, my dad used to do it back when he was a kid, when he grew up, But so it was almost like, man, it's hypocritical at this point. Yeah. I get it, you might have lived this life and it did this to you, but man, it's not the same for me. In high school, I smoked weed in high school.
How old were you when you first started smoking, and when did they realize? Give me the first time smoking, and then when did your parents realize that you were doing that?
The first time was probably somewhere between 7 and 9 years old, when my parents found out that I was actually regularly smoking. I was probably in 7th grade, going into 8th grade or something like that. That's when I was first put into rehab, actually. My freshman year of high school, I was put into an after school program for kids, or younger adults or whatever the fuck they want to call it for their little rehab or stuff. And so I was drug tested, did all this group stuff.
Do you think if you were treated like in today's climate, how they view weed versus back in this situation, your parents were kind of have that type of mentality? Do you think with them maybe not putting you in after school program, just maybe give more to, do you think that would have not led later on to trying the further heavier stuff, or do you think it was set in stone just for that?
No, it was set in stone. They wanted to, force the idea that you're doing this, then it's going to make you do this, and the third. I didn't do meth because I was smoking weed or because I wanted to try a new drug or anything, I did meth because I wanted to die. I didn't care about my life. I didn't care about my friends. I didn't care about my family. I wasn't a gateway. I didn't have any gateways. Throughout my programming, they called me a functioning drug addict because that's what I was. I still went to work. I still made money. Throughout high school, my friends or my co-athletes would come up to me, "Dang, you smoke weed every day. You still make the state. You still hold records here. How you do that?" I'm a God-given born talent, with my sports, you know what I'm saying? But I was a functional addict. I am a functional addict. I'm a functional recovering addict, you know what I'm saying? So it's not something that I can say made me go towards different drugs, I've done every drug in the book.
Were you being recruited? Because I know you said you have records.
Yeah, I got recruited for football and track. I got recruited for football, track, and baseball. I decided not to go with baseball. It was just pushed on me too much and ended up not liking it at a certain point. So I signed for football and track without my parents' knowledge. So they wouldn't know I didn't sign for baseball. Yeah.
Baseball scene must have been very big in the family.
No, not really. I was just a star athlete at baseball, and when I tell you they probably dumped a few 100,000 into my training, for baseball they went deep, real deep for baseball. I mean, I've been trained by Cardinal players, Cub players.
Yeah.
My coach for one of my traveling teams was Kurt Ford, one of the Cardinals players back in the day. So baseball was something and also baseball's guaranteed with money. If no one knows this, when you go and sign a contract, when you play baseball, you can go and sit on that bench and never play a game, or you can go and be a backup and never play a game. And whatever that contract says you're getting. You can go and get hurt. You can still sit there and you don't get paid. No other sport is guaranteed with their contract money. So that's one reason that they wanted me to focus on baseball. But I think them pushing it so much. I mean, I told them I didn't want to play one day, and I almost got my ass beat. So I had to do what I had to do. I got out of it, So football and track was just something that I didn't know I wanted to do. Football, I didn't start until my freshman year of high school. I tried to play in 8th grade, but we didn't have the money for it. So high school's free for the most part, So I started in high school, just killed it in high school in my freshman year. After freshman year, it was straight varsity. I think I had offers by my junior year for football. I played baseball in high school too, but I was kicked off of the team because I wasn't that great of a student. I was very handsy. I like to fight. So I wasn't representing the school, and I guess I got into a fight on the field with a rival team, but it wasn't really my fault. It was his fault. It was a homeboy at the time, and me and his girl was best friends. She made up some little hissy story that she got a little disrespected or something because she tried to cut off my homeboy, and she thought he was calling her a bitch or something like that, and that was